Hi, Susan. You had asked about how to edit this photo to get rid of that super bright highlight on your soldier's cheek, and so I thought I would show you what I would do with it if it were my photo. So I'm going to zoom in, and the first thing I would do is make a new layer because I never work on my original layer, just a habit I have. And then I would change the blend mode of that layer to multiply, which you see what it does right away, it darkens that area. But of course it darkens the whole area. So I would create a layer mask and then invert that layer mask. So, oh, I accidentally added a new one. Let's get rid of that. I don't want two layer masks. Then I would take a soft round brush and make sure my foreground color was white, and I would go right in over that area that's too bright, and I would darken it. Now you can see, of course it's too much, and we'll take care of that in a second, but you can see right here that no matter how much we try to darken some of this, it just won't, and that's because there's the highlights are too hot, and so you've actually lost detail in that. That just went to pure white, and you're not going to get that back. But I can show you what to do to repair that, especially since it's such a small place. But for now, let's concentrate on that highlight on that cheek, and let's bring it down. Because the light's coming from that side, we still want it a little bit lighter in tone and value than this side. So we'll bring it down, the opacity down to about there. Yeah, okay, I like that. And then I'm gonna, actually doesn't look bad on where we have it on his beard either. It's kind of toned down those super highlights on his beard and mustache. I may even bring it in a little bit more on that mustache. There we go. But I do want to take it off of this little part of his face here. I don't think I have any, but yeah, okay. Okay. So I'm pretty pleased with how that looks. Now, the next thing that I would do is get rid of this dark line, this shadow, and this highlight that's right here. To me, the best way I'm going to try with is to use frequency separation. So first thing I'm going to do is make a stamp layer. So I've got a new layer of everything I just did. And I'm going to take this frequency separation, and it's an action that I already have, and I'm going to hit play. So what that does is it creates two layers. One is like a Gaussian blur layer just for the color. And when I open it up, you can see you've got a Gaussian blur layer for the color, and then you've got another layer that just gives the texture. So you can clone stamp and work with the color separately from the texture. So I'm going to go and grab my clone stamp tool, and I'm going to give this a little try in here, see what we get. I'm going to try to change that color. Change the opacity to 100% on my clone stamp. See if we can do something with that. Yeah, it's not doing a whole lot. Changed it slightly, actually kind of brightened it, so not really what we were after. So let's try the texture and see what happens. Let's see if we can replace this texture. There we go. Oh, that's looking much better. And especially since I already put this color down, now that I'm getting rid of the texture, I'm just seeing it. Let's get some of this texture from this side. And this is sort of, it's very detailed. You see I'm working almost at pixel level, and to make sure that, let's get those tiny little details right. And just barely tapping in on that, and get some of this color. Bring it out here. Well, that's not bad. So we've gotten rid of that line across there. I'm going to go right in here and, whoops, Control Z anytime you're not happy with something again. Do that a little bit. Okay. Now, to me that line's a little bit harsh, so I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and do another stamp layer on top and change my opacity of my clone stamp down to about 25%. And then I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger and kind of come in here and kind of blend some of this out. I'm going to pick up some of this color, blend it out a little bit more just so the line doesn't look like so harsh. So it's a little more natural, like a natural shadow falling across his face there. So zoomed in on his face. That's the before, and that's the after. Kind of zoom out. That's the before, and that's the after. So, and you can also apply the same technique to his hat because it's a little hot. So I can just go ahead and create a new layer, and put that in multiply, and add a layer mask. Invert that, and let's go in here with a soft white brush, lightest foreground color, and kind of brush it a little bit. So you just kind of put it in a little bit. Now, anywhere where it's pure white, that's not going to work. And you see there, it's really dark, so we're going to take some of that back off. I'm just going to go Control Z, and then I'll get the black brush and kind of pull that back off. But you see how that just kind of helps with the highlight on the hat a little bit too, and you could of course work on it more. But overall, that's how I would take care of that highlight on that face. And looking at it, you might go back and work a little more on the mustache right there as well. Matter of fact, I could probably, let's see, tap that and just darken the mustache. I just got a new Wacom tablet, and I still don't have my brush, my pen set just right for the sensitivity that I want. Yeah, that's a little bit more than what I was really wanting in there. So I'm going to lower opacity. Rather than changing the opacity of the whole thing, I'll lower the opacity of just my brush, go to black, and then kind of go back over and brush off until I'm happy with it. Let's see. Just a touch. Okay, I like it. Put it right in that area. So darken. There we go. And if we zoom out, that's the look, and you might work a little bit more on the mustache, but anyway, you get the general idea. Hope that helps.